Happy New Year and good afternoon from Grasshoppers RFC for the opening round of the Premiership Rugby Under-18 Academy League 2025. Harlequins are hosting Gloucester on a bitterly cold day in West London. Well, here's how Harlequins shape up for their first bout of a fresh academy campaign, with so many graduates going on to senior honours in quarters. There is a late change for Quins as Gerald Goulikou is withdrawn and Harry Ludkin takes the 3 jersey and George Chandler wears 1. Elliot Williams was outstanding in the recent Ace final win over Hartbury. He captains wearing 6, whilst hard-carrying Finley Cunnison is wearing 12, and Sean Sharp of Seaford will bring an attacking threat wearing 15. Gloucester Academy are out and on the park. They're followed by Quins in their famous quarters. And this is how Gloucester shape up. Keelan Freeman Price is one of 3 hookers involved in the match today who've been involved with England on their journey. Jono Balding, unmissable at 6'9", captains wearing 4. Junior Denny is an under 17-year-old who offers a searing, pacey threat on the left wing, partnered too by West Walian Thomas Evans in the backfield, whilst Will Knight follows in the footsteps of brother Max, who once upon a time captained Gloucester 18s and has been showing some great form for Hartbury College all season long. Jacob Thompson has been a late upgrade into the bench. He'll wear 16. He's another under 17-year-old, and he has the happy memory of an ace try in the final against Hartbury to call on. And his opposite, Michael Onabayedo, is another England 18s hooker who has been involved in training.
Let's go, Dusty! First shot!
So Gloucester in their iconic cherry and white strip, kick off high and long here at Grasshoppers RFC. And Quins receive and are immediately put under pressure. Rivalries renewed, but a whole fresh crop of talented individuals out looking to make their mark for these respective historic clubs. And if any of these youngsters need reminding of the heights they can reach, they only needed to tune in to TNT last night and see the names on the Harlequin Seniors team sheet. Finn Baxter starting not many years ago. He was running around on fields like these. Lucas Friday is still eligible for the academy, and Ben Waghorn, a recent graduate. Those last 2, Lucas and Ben, receiving their Premiership debuts last night up at Kingston Park against Newcastle Falcons. The first sighting of the scrum, and it's a stable one for Quins to attack from and for Tate Williams to get some metres under his belt. Lovely line from Elliot Williams, takes 2 to drag him down, and the tempo's driven by Callington at 9. Puts boot to ball, finds some green grass and a nice tumbling end over end, and into the Gloucester half for the first time. I've alluded to the ace final that was in December. Gordon's victorious 34-25 and stopping Hartbury from claiming a quite remarkable 13th title. Gordons are only the 4th team to win the ace in its history since inception in 2004, and some early problems at the line out for Keelan Freeman Price. No one going up, so Quins given the ball and carried forward by Tate Williams. Callington again ships it right. Little disguised ball from Matt Jones, the Welsh fly half. Again, fizzing one to the edge, and Quins unable to keep it in touch. Well, the ball is lightning quick at the moment, and so too that pass. It was really well held on by Tristan Saunders of Dulwich College out there on the edge, but he ran out of room. Second opportunity for Freeman Price to find his man, and they go to the banker, all 6'9" of John O'Boarding, who goes off the top, but it's a penalty to Quins. And at the moment it is Gloucester who are looking a little clunky in these opening 3 minutes. Driven into the corner by Matt Jones. Came off the bench in finals day at Kingsholm last February when the league came to its big conclusion. It's been a shift in the calendar this year. Ordinarily the Academy Games starting around about September with a split season, but here we are, round one on a frosty January day with 2025 still very young. The first collision of the packs as they flex their mauling muscles, and Quins managed to wrestle it free from the grip of some intrusive Gloucester hands, and then they go to the centres. First sighting of Finn Cunnison, ball in hand, arriving round the corner at high velocity. Henry Laidlow felled 5 metres shy. Now it's Harry Ludkin. The centres again. Taylor denied. Good Gloucester defence, discipline too. Finn Cunnison 1 metre shy. Can Quins keep their composure? Tate Williams says, yes I can, and it's first blood to the home side. Well, he's been a little under the weather this week, Tate Williams, as have a number of Quins Academy players. I think there's a bout of norovirus going round, but Tate Williams demonstrating that he shirked off the bug with explosive opening 5 minutes and rewarded with a try from close range. And Sean Sharp eyes up the poles to maximise the effort of his 8.
Be useful to have it. Presumably then though, like you can, I guess, keep it and you maybe then pay some kind of subscription or something to get the data or something. I don't know, it could be like any kind of wearable.
Beautiful strike right out of the screws from Sean Sharp. Harlequins lead Gloucester 7-0 with not even as many minutes played.
Yeah. For the trial it would be, but like if you had a longer term kind of thing.
Let's go, go, get up.
They'll become mainstream, won't they, as the trial works? It'll become mainstream thing that...
And Will Mason of the King's School Worcester repeats the kick-off feat, and it's a real stretch for Quins, who throw out a telescopic arm but they can't reel it in. So now Gloucester get to build with ball in hand into the Quins 22 and in command of possession. Lovely late arrival, and it's a brilliant tackle from the try scorer just as Gloucester seem to be surging through. Tell you what, the numbers on the back of these Gloucester jerseys are devilishly hard to read. But it's in the hands of Harlequins. Flipped out the back, and just a little pump from Taylor, and decides to keep the ball in hand. Now Quins attack down the left wing, finding room in the 5 metre channel. But once again, finding the touchline.
Come on then, boys, let's go. Win the race.
Had a couple of sessions together this week, Harlequins, in the build-up for this academy match. See each other kind of once a week, generally, since October, but it's a managed workload as far as the A schools are concerned, and also the independent schools really sort of look to manage the workload, not burn these boys out. They know that rugby's important, but it's not absolutely everything, and a bit of the telepathy from the ace will serve both Quins and Gloucester well today. Certainly serving Quins the better in these opening salvos. Just over 7 minutes gone. Quins a converted try to the good. Elliot Williams halted in his tracks, but it's more penalty pain for Gloucester, who are offside. Max Marshall, the man in the middle today. Matt Jones takes a hearty touch, and he takes Quins to the doorstep of the 22.
Seven. The whole back line.
Seems to be set up in our kitchen to do some kind of pictures.
Ashton Graham goes to the tail, goes to Williams, and Quins go off the top and explode into the Gloucester 22. The leg drive from Cunnison takes them to 15 metres. Now the arrival of George Chandler, who is picked up, carried back.
Number 3 offside.
But again,
never onside.
It's an offside indiscretion, and Quins aren't hanging around. Here comes Ludkin.
I said before.
The referee wants to see the tap taken from his mark and under his watch as well. It's been a lively opening few minutes from Harry Ludkin,
Let's work harder on the back foot.
who is a late promotion into the starting 15 in place of Gerald Gorlicu, who is a hooker by trade, but he's also adept at loose head. So Ashton Graham, who started finals day last season with 7 on his back, he's converting to hooker, so honing his throwing craft, and it's looking pretty slick. Round the corner comes the captain, who barrels forward to the line. It's good defence from Gloucester. Flipped out the back. Oh, so many numbers here for Quins. And it's an easy dot down for Sean Sharp after the incisive work of his captain. And then the perfect pass selection. Quins starting at a canter here at Grasshoppers. Well, there was the devastation from Elliot Williams. The speed of ball that Quins are getting to work with is electric. Matt Jones with a 3-on-1. Perfectly executed. And Sean Sharp, the scorer, has an opportunity to make it 2 from 2 from the tee.
He'll go, yeah. Refs like that when I sit down. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No joy this time, but the dream start for this new crop of Quins. They lead Gloucester 12 points to 0 with a dozen minutes played.
Brilliant. He gets so
Gloucester to the lead and West London skies and into the arms of Williams. Captain on captain as Jono Balding accosts him just outside the 22.
Did they sleep together in your kitchen?
2, 3 Gloucester men in the tackle. George Dufty lending his weight.
Use, please. Wait.
Callington maybe gets under it a little bit. It's a brilliant contest, an even better take from Thomas Evans. Gloucester on the front foot at last. Can they get it to the edges? Now there's room. Evans further along the line to Denny. Lassoed round the ankles, and there's a counter-ruck opportunity here for Quins, but Gloucester react, and then a loose ball arrests their momentum. Williams looks to blast through, but 2 cherry and white jerseys throw him back.
Release Black.
Oh, the comparison in the speed of ball is marked. Lightning for Quins, stodgy for Gloucester right at the moment, but this is better for them. Lost forward by Balding. And Sean Sharp looks up and assesses his options. Oh, foxing feet. Takes Quins almost up to the 10, then Callington whips his right boot through the ball. And Gloucester will have to rebuild from deep. Here comes Junior Denny. Looking to slalom his way through. Wears a big right shoulder from Noah's screen. Oh, disguised ball, look forward.
Black release.
But Gloucester continue to build. Rio Ebanks travels a little bit. Now Gloucester are wrong. Now Gloucester are cutting Quins open down the left-hand side. Low shot coming in from Sharp, but Gloucester too strong. And there's the response.
What did you guys do for New Year's?
Well, they just found Quins a little narrow. And from all the way back from within their half, they found themselves cantering down the left edge. The support line was good. And Gloucester in for a pressure relieving try, having been up against it for much of the opening 13 minutes or so.
Let's go, boys. Good key. Yes, come on, good energy. Yeah, mate.
Beautiful conversion to match the try scoring effort. Gloucester have 7. They're within 5 of Quins, and it is now game on.
Big name.
Perfect excuse. So we actually went across to Christian and Emma's, and we had some food and a few drinks.
Sorry? Yeah, good. How was yours?
High hanging restart and claimed in a pod by captain Jono Balding. The big men of Gloucester line up, they flip it out the back and they go cross field, and it's on here for Junior Denny if the bounce is kind, which it isn't. Wonderful ambition straight from the kickoff and almost perfectly executed.
Take the line. Numbers? 5.
Ashton Graham, who scored quite unbelievable 18 tries across the ace campaign for Gordons, doesn't quite hit his man on this occasion, and Gloucester look to capitalise in transition. A barnstorming run before possession is stripped from West Country clutches. Thomas Evans hops, skips, evades one, feeds Denny. Denny just sort of thrashing his way through those challenges. Gloucester are here to play, happy to run it from deep.
Onside.
But now
Use, please.
pragmatism takes precedence. An added bit of human scaffolding puts at the end of the ruck, and up goes the bomb. Well claimed, but hit the second he caught it. Matt Jones wears a jolting hit, and the penalty is won by Gloucester.
Time off. Thank you.
Well, here it is. Look at that arrival. Junior Denny, who's returning from injury. A right adductor overload, if you're into the specifics. Couldn't tell you much more about that from a physio perspective, but good to see the under-17 back in action. He has an impressive attacking toolbox. The Bloxham School flyer. And from the penalty, emanating from his hit,
Take the line. Edge of the line.
Gloucester fine touch on the outskirts of the Quins 22. Six in the line out with a late arrival from the captain, and Gloucester are going to drive. It is in the cherry and white DNA, and it's only been emboldened further by the arrival of George Skivington, who sits at the top of the coaching tree. And another penalty to Gloucester.
5. Side entry.
An interesting sort of subplot from a coaching perspective in this match is that Declan Danaher, one of the great men of London Irish back in the day, has been installed as head coach of the under-18s now at Gloucester. Of course, is an old clubman of George Skivington. And Dec Danaher would have coached a number of these Quins players when they're at Bishop 1, because that was the A school of London Irish. There's been a big altering of the academy boundaries since the sad demise of Worcester Wasps and London Irish. In fact, Gloucester have seen their catchment multiply almost threefold, so they're pulling in a number of different players. There's different structures in place, so it feels like there's a season.
Scrum advantage. Advantage over for the scrum.
And now
Hughes, please.
Gifts. Fergus Callington takes his time, steadies himself, and he'll be under no pressure because the charge came early from boarding. Denny, it's his turn to be hit the moment he catches, and Gloucester just lift their eyelids a little too quick with the press defence of Quins, and it'll be a scrum to the home side. So Callington, who has had some involvement with the Ireland 18s,
Fine.
as has Noah
Set.
Screen, who is immersed in the engine room there for Harlequins. Doesn't get the opportunity to put the ball in because it's a penalty immediately, and one that looks to have potentially come at a cost for Quins and Harry Ludkin. Ludkin, one of 8 Gordon's boys in this match day 23, having come through the ranks of Camberley RFC, the Squirrels. There's a lot of historic club representation out there. You see the names London Irish Amateurs, Chobham, Richmond, Newbury as well, Effingham and Leatherhead. All jerseys I'm sure that many of you tuning in have come up against in mini and junior festivals in your formative days of playing.
About that, thank you. 5
Will
calls.
Mason steers Gloucester to the touchline once again. And Freeman Price, who himself is a converted back row, number 8 to number 2. Has his captain to aim for. And they link up nicely. Mason bounces inside. Beautiful feet from the fly half. Then out the back door. Gloucester are playing. How about that for a jackal attempt? So close. Now Freeman Price goes it alone. Oh, Quins. No one at home round the fringes. And Rio Ebanks needs no second invitation. The deadly threat from the fringes sears to the line. Gloucester have a second and they have a conversion to take the lead.
Yes, Rio.
Well, the history books will say Ebank, but it all came initially from Mason, then from Freeman Price. Quins were disorganised and scrambling, and Ebanks had the wherewithal to punish them. Mason drives it through the uprights and the visitors take the lead. Harlequins 12, Gloucester 14. Well, here it is. Williams was calling his captain across, but Ebanks was already off and away. It's an interesting story, Rio Ebanks, because him, along with a few others who are in this 18 side today, have really earned their jersey. The likes of Henry Horsfall as well. They had a possibles probables match just before Christmas, and the possibles handed it to the probables, and it resulted in a bit of a shake-up of the coach's thinking, and I think it's breathed real optimism and belief in everyone in the Gloucester Academy that every jersey is up for grabs. A wonderful environment to be playing rugby and knowing that no one's name is assured on the team sheet. And Ebanks one of those to have fought for the 9 jersey, profiting while his opposite man sees one slip from his grip.
Coach! Bind! Set!
11 minutes and a bit of change to go in the first half. 70-minute matches
Hold the shove,
at
Red.
academy level. And a scrum that didn't look anything like
Standing up.
what it looked like when initially formed. And Gloucester, the recipients of yet another penalty. Has been a real shift in the whistling this last 10 minutes, all in the direction of Quins as they took that early 12-0 lead. But now
Take the line.
Max Marshall's blasts punishing the home side, and Gloucester just methodically working their way up the field. Freeman Price spoils a perfectly crisp white towel. Oh, then drops the ball. So the towel gets another workout. And now he seeks the tail. Lovely throw, beautifully off the top, and Gloucester are away. Just a little bit of a stutter as the pass is laboured out to Mason, but that's really good go forward ball. So too there. Williams clinging onto the bootstraps. Just a glance inside, just stumbles the Quins defence, but that is some hit from Eli Inder-Reardon. Swallows up his opposite man. Then Cam Bushell, another hooker by trade, goes bouncing forward. Ebanks chips on over the top. Sean Sharp's there, loses his footing. Quins in a panic to resource this ruck. Captain tips it on to Chandler. There's a real urgency to Callington as he calls for the cavalry.
9.
I have to say that ball looked out for a long old time, but Callington gets a bit of grace, puts it on Gloucester's 10. He sets up cleanly for Ebanks to launch the big men. There's Henry Horsfall, King's Worcester, Lucktonians Rugby Club as well, Tom Pearson's former club as well. And Mason, with no one behind him, rather wisely goes to the skies. Sharp, really elusive, really confident. Look at that offload. Here come Quins. This is in the club DNA. Forwards and backs in unison. Oh, one final pass and it couldn't stick. Mason's there to hoover up the crumbs. No one at home for Quins. And Tristan Saunders has to spin on his heels. That's almost an exceptional touch finder. Saunders tries to weave through a cherry and white forest and he catches a high arm. And it's a real let-off for Quins, in fact, because Gloucester had chased hard. Saunders was in a spot of bother. That is some touch finder.
Time off.
And that is one way to turn the dial. Quins into the Gloucester half, and Jacob Thompson, who is one of the under 17-year-olds in this Quins squad today, bounds on. Not quite sure who he's on for just yet. Ashton Graham has the ball in his hands. I can tell you that Henry Laidlow has made way, so might be a bit of a reshuffle in the pack. Jacob Thompson wasn't expecting to play in this fixture today.
Time is on now.
I think he's a man who can be depended upon, having scored the opening try in Gordon's ace final victory over Hartbury. Well, that is 100% not straight.
Option scrum or line.
An easy decision for Max Marshall. He almost knew. Station to the right-hand side there as it came in. And a scrum that Quins will be eager to have a more settled time in. Penalties been travelling in the direction of Gloucester thus far.
Crouch!
And there is the additional ballast of Jacob Thompson now.
Wide early. Set!
And it seemingly does the trick. Stability for Gloucester to launch and for Quins to blitz up. A lot of shapes moving at Quins, but they pick the right man and hammer him before he gets to the halfway line. Mason is so composed, isn't he? A lot moving up in his eye line, but he's dealing with it well. Travelled back into the traffic. Quins scoop up the loose ball that's spilt forward, and Adam Beanie pirouettes through. But we do come back for the initial knock-on.
Trying to connect him with Martha, Christian's daughter, the other night, actually, New Year's Eve. And I was like, she was with this boy when he was at New Reading, so we was like, we find a boy that's nearby, and I was like, she's tall, she's really sweet. So, yes. I think she rendered him.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
little bit of jousting between Callington and Ebanks. Ebanks backs off, Callington receives it from his 8, and now Quinn's around into the 15-metre channel. Beautiful timing of the passing and the running, but Tristan Saunders is forklifted up and dumped back. Sean Sharp steps in at first receiver. He's had some time working with Lee Halfpenny, who's come into the camp. Whoa, a tip pass under pressure, and now so too Quinn's. Real pace, almost skirting away. But Ebanks slapping the ankles of Matt Jones. The sizable frame of Harry Ludkin barrels into some bodies. And a penalty is conceded.
6, side entry.
Side entry from Elliot Williams.
4.
All 6'5" and 118 kilos of him. That is a large 17-year-old's food bill at home. So Gloucester,
Take the line.
as we move into the final 5 minutes of this first half, drive towards the 22. And after Quinn's bright start, I have to say that this is where the lion's share of the match has unfolded. Freeman Price goes to his captain. He holds it this time and it's sacked immediately. Now into the midfield go Gloucester and Henry Parsons. Ebanks travels, delivers it to one of his front row, who weaves round the initial challenge. There's a bit of verve to the manner in which Gloucester are attacking now. It's sluggish ball though. Oh, Gloucester managed to fashion an opportunity. Nevertheless, it goes forward, so we come back for the penalty advantage.
No. 3. On the line. 10, roll clear.
And Captain Jono Boarding says we'll take the points.
Not rolling, number 10. Skipper, it's the 3rd time we've come down here and you've given penalties away.
3
If it continues this
that
way,
should be
you're forced to
assured.
Let's have a word. Not funny. I've got about 2 to go.
Oh, Will Mason sacrifices a ball over the fence and adding 3 points to the Gloucester ledger.
17-12.
And from trailing 12-0 down with as many minutes on the clock, Gloucester have found their feet here at Grasshoppers.
No ball.
It is Harlequins 12, Gloucester 17. And thanks to Will Mason. Matt Jones has his hands on his hips as we wait for a fresh ball. He's duly furnished with one. And he goes north. Boarding. Looking increasingly assured with every ball that goes his way.
Use, please.
And having more of a pronounced presence in the match. Ebanks.
7, stop.
It's been sparky, busy. Sean Sharp, with the presence of Dufty there, leaves the ball behind.
We'll come for the scrum.
No advantage coming. So there'll be time for one more scrum.
Principal.
Well, Sean Sharp didn't lose it forward, apparently, so it is forward off a Gloucester hand, and Quinns will have the put in. What can they muster in the dying embers of this first half?
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Well, it's one against the head, and Gloucester will fancy their chances of striking. Mason skips inside Jones, scoops it off the floor. Now there's numbers. Red and white hoop jerseys looming with intent. Cartwheeling into the 22. Back to the right they come. Brilliant chop tackle that needed to come. It was like a javelin from a Quins defender.
That's hard.
And just as you thought, Gloucester may strike once more. The turnover for Quins, the opportunity to clear the decks. And Matt Jones brings a close to an entertaining first half that saw Quins take an early 12-point lead. However, 17 unanswered points from the visitors see the Cherry and Whites head into the half-time huddles the happier. Well, here were the early exchanges and the early ascendancy for Harlequins. Tate Williams driving round the corner from close range after good work and strong carrying from his backs.
I'm going to go to the loo.
And it was again Williams, but this time Elliott making the dents. Gloucester scrambling, got narrow, and Matt Jones had two quartered jerseys to pick from. He went for Sean Sharp, and he delivered the finish the move deserved. So Quins leading 12-0 at this stage, and looking cruisy in the opening salvos, but Gloucester, play by play, penalty by penalty, have worked themselves into a position of dominance. And this was a wonderful sweeping move from within their own half that was rounded off on the left wing. Brilliant support line from Will Knight of Hartbury College. And that was the spark that Gloucester needed. More good work from Will Mason, complemented by a hard carry from Freeman Price, allowed Rio Ebanks to sneak through an undefended fringe. And as he dotted down underneath the uprights, Quins knew that their lead was to be snatched. Will Mason, 2 from 2 in terms of conversions, and adding a penalty as well late in that half. But Quins sending a late message that they're not to be written off in this match. Bit of attacking flair from forwards and backs, coming to nothing. And at half-time here at Grasshoppers, Harlequins 12, Gloucester 17. Right, welcome back everybody. That was a swift half-time interval, and that's probably demonstrative of the Baltic conditions that we are enduring here in West London. Take it from a man who's grossly underclubbed on his footwear and think I might lose all 10 of my toes by the time the day is done. But the referee, Max Marshall, has just plugged a couple of fresh batteries in his pack so that we can hear his communique. And Harlequins Academy under-18s against Gloucester Academy under-18s are set to get underway. I know a lot of you out there wanting to know what age group this is. It is the under-18s. The under-17s will be playing later. But at the moment, we have a tight affair between two icons of the English game. Wow. Jono Balding has been ended by a gang of Harlequins there. The second his studs hit the turf, he was engulfed, and that is an incredible take from Sean Sharp. The contest from Gloucester wasn't bad either, but that work with British and Irish Lion Lee Halfpenny, who's been coming in and working with the back three, looking to impart his gifts and his knowledge there in Technicolor to enjoy. Oh, magnificent aerially Sean Sharp. Has been said to me before that his vertical jump is something to be marvelled at.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Rio Ebanks, try score in the first half, gets things moving for Gloucester, and they're out to the 15-metre channel in a flash. Junior Denny rumbles over the top of Sean Sharp and almost into the 22. Ebanks picks a big boy. It's Jaden Rottersley who comes up with a meaningful carry. Goodness me, I thought that Will Mason was going to get ended by Elliot Williams for a moment there, but the whistle had gone. And just a feather forward from Gloucester as they were on the advance means that it's scrum time early in the second half. Let's take a look at this take. I've asked it specifically from the director. Wow. Fearless. And holding on as well as he hit the ground.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Just the hint of a nudge there from Gloucester, but held firm, and wow, Tate Williams, meters that are absolutely not his right to take. The pistons pumping and all the way up to the halfway line. The other Williams slips it out the back, almost an intercept in the midfield, but maybe it creates an opportunity for Quins in the 5-metre channel. Up to the 10. Quins thrusting forward through their captain. But a bit of breakdown burglary from Gloucester once again. They're going hard on the floor. And yet another penalty against Quins. Ooh, a streaky old touch finder. Crawls its way across the paint. And the blushes of Will Mason spared.
Half a step off.
The key statistic for him is he's 3 from
Numbers,
3
please.
from the tee.
5.
So no worries for Will when it comes
Man.
to keeping the scoreboard ticking. Freeman Price goes to the tail. A swipe and into the grip of Ashton Graham. Bit of footwork from the white head guarded hooker. Williams out the back. Now it's on for Quins. Cunnison Looked to release the chicken wing, but wisely decided to hold on. Oh, shuddering hit on the Quins captain. And he takes a bit of time blowing out the cobwebs in the aftermath. Just a penalty at the moment. And the imperious Harlequin captain takes a knee. His dimensions mean that he's more than capable of going in the second row. Let's take a look at the contact he's worn there. Oof. Whiplash. And there's the other Williams, who has been incredibly impressive. As I said, he's been one of the academy members who has been grappling with a virus this week. Bit touch and go as to whether he'd play, but I think Quins can be very thankful that Worth's Tate Williams has suited up today. Well, there's the explanation from Max Marshall. The force going through Elliot Williams' chest. And the force of Matt Jones's right boot going through the ball and taking Quins just to the brink of the Gloucester 22. You feel that Quins need a bit of concerted time down in Gloucester territory. Had such a purple patch where they shone so bright in the opening 15 minutes. They're yet to spend quality time down here since. Williams goes off the top and Connison receives a more delayed ball than he wanted. He had to stutter his step. Now Elliot Williams, double teamed at all times by these Gloucester defenders. A third, a fourth, a fifth. Now Williams is held up and a maul's called. If Quins can get it to the floor, they'll be all right. But they can't. And it's a big momentum win for Gloucester. They're handling the hard-running threats of Harlequins manfully at the moment. And with the scrum coming, so too does it herald the arrival of the replacements. Well, there are two new cherry and whites onto the field. I can't actually tell you who they are at the moment. But the academy regulations, if you're interested to know, is that everybody in the matchday squad must play a minimum of 20% of the match. It is a reduced percentage compared to school regulations, which is 50%. It's in recognition of, you know, the need to give combinations more of a try. Oh, here come Gloucester. Look at the work rate of Tate Williams off the ball to make that tackle. But there's one more offload slung shot in off the boot. And then Gloucester fall on it. It's called a knock on. And you'd have to say by the body language of Gloucester, they'll agree with that call. End to end. Here comes the replay. First it was the high take. Wonderfully snatched by Dufty. Then the inside ball to Knight. And the arrival. And this looked like it was going to be a try for all money from, I think it Luca Woodjet. And lastly there, Rio Ebanks denied by Max Marshall's whistle. Gloucester rebuild from within Quins' half, and such is their way. They're looking for wit. Junior Denny shirks one, shirks two, three. Then he gets caught behind. Cherry and white jerseys pouring to the line. Oh, the delayed ball is exquisite. And George Dufty of Bromsgrove the glad recipient. Try number 3 for Gloucester, and maybe the pick of the bunch. Well, the burst came from Junior Denny. It took a hard-working back row to chop him down from behind. Then it was all about the timing and the confidence of, I think, Henry Parsons to double pump and delay the offload and just lift it into the path of George Duffy. He wasn't going to miss from there. No extras to add. So the pain for Quins reduced to the tune of 5 points, but a 10-point lead opened up for the visitors. As we take another look at the deftest of lifts. I beg your pardon, Will Knight, from try scorer to try creator. And Quins chasing the game now. No one puts a name on it. Bouncing ball loose in the Gloucester backfield, slung by Duffy into the hands of Mason, who hurriedly sweeps it away to Saunders. He gets wrapped up by Denny. There's a real hunger to the way Gloucester are going about hunting quarters, but a penalty to Quins.
Hands in the ruck, 19.
They need to try and maximise this. An awesome effort from the boot of Matt Jones. He's taken off a greedy chunk of the touchline there. And Quins have a line out on the Gloucester 5, their best opportunity of the half. Ashton Graham sizes up his options. Oh, it's a mix-up on the lift. It was meant to be Elliot Williams who was going to claim it, but no backlifter came in, so Tate Williams took the mantle. And Quins are fortunate to retain possession. They don't have the momentum they would have wished for, but they are in the 22. Elliot Williams, pick and go round the corner. Now just lifted one out to Tate Williams. 3 metres shy, Quins now. Discipline on display from the Gloucester defence. Back to the right, Quins go. And John O'Balding uses all of his might to hold on to the ball just as he was ripping. Tackle release was called by Max Marshall. And it'll be a penalty to Quins.
Tackle release.
Trailing by 10, the call's got to be to tap, and Elliot Williams does. There's numbers out left if the pass can reach, but Adam Vini has to check his step and carry into red and white jerseys. Tackle release called again. Quins as close as can be. Tate Williams almost in for a double. Ashton Graham has a burrow. He's still not there. The defence opens up finally. Quins batter their way across. They get their 3rd try, and one that closes the contest to a 1-score game with the kick to come. George Chandler, the last man to surge to the paint, and just squeezing through 2 sets of Gloucester arms. And Matt Jones adds the extras. Harlequins 19, Gloucester 22. An incredible matchup on our hands to open the Academy League campaign for both Gloucester and Harlequins. And the visitors pick out the Quins captain, who is thudded. The second, his fingers close round the ball.
Yes, please. Red.
Albert.
20.
Well, there's one to compete. Clear instructions for Sam Warren of Cardinal Newman. 20 stop, and
Never retreats.
while he didn't contest the ball, he was certainly in the vicinity. It's a soft penalty for Quins to give away, just as they've managed to fight their way back into the contest. Gloucester don't hesitate. They go for the touchline. They go into Quins 22. Good crowd here today. You can see them packed in down there in the bottom left, and the balcony level here at Grasshoppers. It's pretty swamped as well. Freeman Price goes to his captain. Latched on by Tom Caswell, and penalty.
He's offside. He's offside. He's offside. The ball has not left the line out. He's still offside. Back 10. Offside. Line-up was not
So
over.
Quins learning a little bit about the laws here. And Gloucester using the laws to take themselves to 5 from the Quins line. Shortened line out. 3 in there. Boarding arriving. Installs himself in the middle, claims it, and just pops it off the top. Round the corner comes Freeman Price.
I've got it.
Ball squirts free, and it's another penalty. And you wonder if a conversation is coming the way of Quins and Elliot Williams.
Tap before. 6 come round offside. And then 6 is early in the line-out.
We said that 6 was early into the line-out. That's actually Elliot Williams. So notice served that the next indiscretion will likely result in a yellow card.
6 early. 5 called.
5-man line out. Gloucester
So, Gloucester, have a gap.
setting to test the mauling mettle of Harlequins once more. Boarding, lifted, then just hovers, and the delayed drop to the floor may have unsettled Quins. They managed to repel the initial shove.
Okay, find the number, please.
There's penalty advantage though for Harlequins despite the strip.
17.
Yeah, card him.
And Jago Morgan will be dispatched
It's back here.
to the sin bin.
Okay. Collapse the ball.
Persistent
Just wait.
infringements from the Quins pack. Jago Morgan adjudged to have collapsed them all.
17, collapse. Where you are, keep them on you, please.
Boys,
Quins! Quins!
Help, on this.
Yes.
Touch your left. Touch your left.
An even bigger test for Quins now. Down to 14. Different man targeted in the skies. Gloucester rocking and rolling and not quite there. Quins must be disciplined at the back feet.
6. Too slow, collapse the ball.
And now Quins are down to 13. Elliot Williams, the captain,
Time is off.
dismissed for collapsing them
Make
all.
sure we get both times, please. 6, too slow. Yeah. Scrum called.
And Gloucester are looking to use their numerical advantage in a different manner now. The scrum called.
We need a prop.
What do Quins do here? They surely can't commit 2 backs
Yeah, you can come on.
into this scrum.
Perfect.
But there is real muscle from Gloucester as well, with the ability potentially to scrum all their way to the line.
We need someone to go. Who's gone? Winger's gone.
Harry
Gents, at
Ludkin
this level we have to match. You must put 8 in the scrum.
is onto the field, and Quins have sacrificed one of their wingers. And you heard right there from Max Marshall that at this level you have to have parity in the scrum, so Quins must have 8.
We play with 6 in the scrum, so no number 8, no flankers, 1 number 8, okay, at this level. No flankers and 1 at 8.
Well, I beg your
We
pardon.
get 3, 4, 5 and 6 at the back.
There'll be no flankers, there'll be 6 on 6 in the scrum, which means that Gloucester
Let's just go on with it then. Fucking hell.
will have 2 more in the back line. It's going to be congested out there.
Contested.
So Jack Gilbert, who is a pretty dynamic number 8. He's wearing 20 at the back there for Gloucester. Another product of Bromsgrove. And you think that the absence of the flankers is going to encourage Fergus Callington to give a little bit of jip to Rio Ebanks. Let's see how it unfolds. They sweep round to the short side. Gilbert can't get the ball away despite Denny and Ebanks being there. Gloucester round the corner. Quins calling for everything, and finally the siege will be lifted with a penalty to the boys in quarters. A wonderful demonstration of character there from Quins.
5 called on your front man.
And
Time
the
off.
bench unloaded by Gloucester. Michael on a
Just take a step
Biedo
back. Thank you. Just wait for these subs to be done.
of Magdalen College has come on. So too Daniel Jones of Cheltenham College. And also
Time on.
Luca Woodjet, the replacement scrum half, who's a bit more of a controlling physical 9 to Ebanks. It's a free kick to Gloucester, a dummy throw from Quins, so the respite momentary. What good hands, lovely pick up, now to the edge, and that is a high tackle.
Yeah, I've got it.
Advantage to Gloucester, lost forward as they surge to the line. Penalty only. It looked like a lazy arm, didn't it? There wasn't a great deal of force, but certainly, you'd think, lucky to escape with no yellow. Maybe the fact that Quins are already down to 13 playing a
6 called.
a factor in the thinking there.
Lads, is it 5 or 6? 5. You have time now. Thank you.
Quins defending for their lives. Quins getting a scrum. Gloucester just fluffing their lines at the moment.
Scrum.
Quins down to 13. Gloucester unable to find the precision.
3. Yeah, and the second one is in
The absence of Harlequins has arguably blunted
6 in the scrums.
Gloucester's clinical edge.
Just 6 in a scrum still, lads. No flankers. Same as before, they haven't had one back yet. Approach! Bind! Set! Ball is out.
The Quins scrum travels in reverse. Tate Williams, though, only knows one direction, and that's forward. 25 metres from the dynamic 8. Then Jones goes to the boot. Here's Sean Sharp, razor sharp Sean across the halfway line. And there's a bit of life in Quins as they attack, and then
It was first lock on.
Harry
then another by
Ludkin
red.
leaves his luggage behind.
Okay.
Just when Quins
Subs.
were getting some momentum,
Quins 8,
it is
9 and
arrested
14.
by a knock on.
8, 9 and 14. Yeah. Yeah, I've got it.
The stoppage here for Sean Sharp to receive some treatment on his right limb, and also one of the Gloucester players down as well. As I mentioned before, Gloucester having expanded their catchment area.
Just under 13 to go.
Hartbury, Warwick and Kingsholm are the destinations that they've been doing their training.
Yeah.
And Quins here at Grasshoppers for the first time in a long time.
You alright? It's coming off, okay.
As an academy, they play a lot of their games at Cobham.
We need a Gloucester.
But eager to take the Quartered Roadshow around its clubs and expose all the various community clubs to this next generation of talents.
Time on. Happy. Mark's there.
Go get it! Go get it, Sammy! Go get it, Dan, let's go! Come on, come on!
Approach! Bind! Set!
Luca Woodja spins it away, and Gloucester are looking to use these numbers out wide. They've looked for width every time they've got their hands on the ball, and a jet-heeled arrival from the second layer of attack carries Gloucester up to the 22. Here's a big man, Sam Bryant, has been involved in the Wales 18 camps. And then it spills out. Loose ball from Gloucester. Quins unbutton one round the collar so they can breathe again. First time Gloucester find themselves in their 22 for some time, and the field is fractured. There's tired lungs and bodies, but the minds are just about sharp enough for Quins not to be picked off by the counter running. Sharp back on his feet, claims the ball, scoots round the first defender, but he can't beat the touchline.
Okay, next stop then.
Around about 11 minutes to play. And Quins, remember, all through this passage, playing with 13. No Jago Morgan, 16 years old, the number 17. No Elliot Williams, but due to be reinstated in the next couple of minutes. Just about deemed straight. And Quins feast on the loose ball, and they win a penalty. Gloucester forced to seal off illegally.
Red and white hoops this season.
Vince back when it goes. First one. Here he comes. Not the second one. Time off. Lads, it's only one of you. Unless you're going to come up.
So Jago Morgan
Yeah.
comes bounding back on, and the reason the two players are on is because Eli Inderriordan was sacrificed so that Harry Ludkin could come on
Just take a step, Red.
to form a full front row. So Ludkin makes way, Morgan's on to make amends, and Quins, astonishingly, have a line out on the 5 metre and a chance to take an unlikely lead whilst being under-resourced due to the double yellow card. They just about crank forward, low ratio gears as they make their way through the heavy Gloucester traffic. Onto the boot they go, cross field, where's it going to end up? Into the hands of a Harlequin. Remarkable. The odds stacked against them. The numbers not in their favour, but Harlequins still finding a way to unlock the Gloucester defence via a crossfield from Matt Jones.
Yeah.
Scooped up by Albert Mildenhall, who had no one at home. And Quins backs against the wall, recapture the lead.
So that was 6 and 17 who were on yellow.
And Sean Sharp has an opportunity to stretch it to beyond a penalty kick.
I've got just over 8.5 to go.
Yeah!
He swings it just inside the right upright, and Harlequins lead Gloucester 26-22. And you heard it through the ref mic, just under 8.5 to go. Immense character, flawless execution, and Harlequins snatching their opportunity, and now their captain is back on the field as there's a bit of afters, and Sharp
Keep retreating.
angles his kick
20.
in search for a 50-22. It won't quite come off because the 4G bounces sky high. Junior Denny, how did he stay on his feet? The balance of the Gloucester winger. And now there's real spirit in the match. The touchline's alive from both sets of fans. Gloucester need a lift, and Quins are looking to capitalise. It'll be a Gloucester put in, but all the energy with the home side right now.
Scrums, everyone back. Lads, full 8. Yeah.
Let's go, one.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
The scrum,
Beyond 45, same scrum.
after a bit of shifting and shaping, gets blown up,
Perfect.
and we'll have a reset with a Gloucester put in once again.
I need to see your shoulder. And you just drive straight.
Clear instructions from Max Marshall for the young front row charges.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Quins devour the Gloucester scrum. Cunnison pinballs into some red and white jerseys, but the ball isn't protected en route to the turf. Gloucester now with Quins all at 6s and 7s defensively. Look for the edge again. They can't scamper free. Looking to burst into that Quins half, but just one slip tackle is all it takes. And they're in and behind the quartered jerseys. Can they make It can. A brilliant hit arrives from Joe Taylor. This is Daniel Jones looking for a way through, picking through the quarter traffic. Crisp hands from Gloucester. Flipped out speculatively. Picked up and put down unceremoniously by Adam Beanie. But still Gloucester, surge into the Harlequins. A precision pass, threads the knee. And Gloucester have the lead once more in this seesaw contest. It was a wonderful pass inside. The trailing run was the key. But with two teammates to choose from, the right option was taken. A 1 point game. Less than 5 minutes to go. And a key kick here now for Gloucester to stretch their lead to 3.
20 seconds.
Which Josh Burnett does.
3 point game.
Harlequins 26, Gloucester 29. Just minutes remaining. And Quins must go to the well once again.
From what I've seen,
The try arriving from Josh Horton. Quins kick long. Just to the outskirts of the 22, and they thunder into the red and white jerseys. They need to force a turnover. But do Gloucester want more? Bonus points all round for both these sides. But the win is what is cherished moment. What a spectacle these young under-18s have put on for us today. There's no one at home for Gloucester. And the ball gets a bit of roll before it sits up. Splayed off the outside of the boot. Not the distance that Burnett would have wanted.
Edge the line.
And Quins with the line out and running out of time to turn this game around. Plenty of movement. Quins come away with it. Matt Jones takes it stationary, goes wide. Lots of quarter jerseys arriving. Sean Sharp, one of them. He feeds Albert Mildenhall, who's already got a try in this second half. But he can't keep himself in play. And Gloucester have a line out here on their 22 with time against the Quins.
Let him play, Lionel.
Into the last seconds of the match. Quins will be desperate to get their hands on the ball. It's a squabble at the front and a penalty to Gloucester.
7 takes the arm.
Adam Beanie adjudged to have taken the arm of the Gloucester jumper.
Minute, boys, let's go.
1 minute confirmed by the referee. 60 seconds for the nerves to jingle and jangle. From a Gloucester perspective, 60 seconds of hope for Quins.
Haven't said it yet. Edge that line.
Another line out to fight for.
Space.
Huge pressure on this throw. The pressure cooker moments that make young men in the latter stages of their careers. To the middle they go. Elliot Williams swipes it from the grasp of Gloucester. Juggled by Cunnison. Finn Cunnison to his fellow centre Joe Taylor, who dribbles it through. Collected by Quins. Surging to the line. But wrestled across the touchline.
Not yet.
A glance at the referee's watch. There's still time for one last play. That would have been a box office ending.
Numbers. 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 5. Step. Step.
It's just that he's just got to throw up. Elliot goes up and 3. Oh, late on the He's on it. He's round on it. Oh my days. 22 out on the wing.
No hands, red. Take a step. Step.
Mate, the numbers are out. You just got to use your hands. Oh, great tackle.
2 release.
It's all right. You're good. You're good. That was a bit more.
Bevy of bodies arrive in red and white.
2.
Penalty to Quins.
Straight off feet.
The hope burns
2.
brighter.
Shout the crowd.
1 metre short. Can Quins do it at the death? Dive bombing the Gloucester line, but still there's no way through. They're across. Are they there? An epic ending to the most enthralling contest. Right to the death. And Quins deny Gloucester.
You just won it, yeah.
What a match, what a climax. And confirmation from the referee. You've just won it. Well, I'd love to tell you who scored that, but I couldn't see through all the bodies from where I'm looking. But it is a try to savour for this young group of Quins. And Gloucester will be disconsolate. Sean Sharp burnishes the scoreboard with a couple more from the tee. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an exhibition of youthful attacking verve and a glimpse into the future of both Harlequins and Gloucester. Valiant from the visitors, but heroic from the home tee, right to the dying seconds on the clock. And Quins' triumph against Gloucester. And these are the second half highlights. End-to-end action, such adventure, utter commitment. That one from Rio Ebanks didn't stand, but the waves of cherry and white jerseys would come all half. That was the break from Junior Denny that got in behind Quins and set up an opportunity for the composed Will Knight to pick his moment to lift the ball into the path of George Dufty. A quite delicious offload with 2 Quins bearing down upon him. Light work for Dufty. Quins, to their absolute credit, reduced to 13 men at one stage in the match, kept on coming. That was George Chandler finally bursting through the stubborn shoulders of the West Countrymen. Another pendulum swing on the scoreboard, and this with Quins down to 14, with loose ball fashioning the most miraculous of crossfield kicks into the waiting arms of Albert Mildenhall. I have to say, both Matt Jones and Will Mason were exceptional in the 10 jerseys of both sides today. Even the pace of Junior Denny, not a match for Mildenhall with all that room. Gloucester, though, thought they'd won it at the death. Searing down the right edge, a ball fizzed inside, finished by Josh Horton. The replacements made their mark. The extras were added by Josh Burnett. It was a 3-point game with barely minutes on the clock. But Quins dug deep. Quins found a way. And from point blank range, they battered their way and eventually snuck through the heart of the ruck. Wonderful sense of awareness and a wily finish means that the spoils go to Harlequins. What a spectacle these young men have treated us to. A frosty old day in West London, warmed up by the exploits of the next generation of Premiership talent. Final score here at Grasshoppers: Harlequins under 18s 33, Gloucester under 18s 29.